Nothing outside talking, guaranteed.
Today's meeting features the Alberta venues in the province of Alberta and the Newfoundland Marshals from the province of Newfoundland capital. We start the lines with Red Wings, Bingo, Haley Spark. Number 9, Brandon McGee. Number 10, Chase Aldridge. Number 11, Cole Benson. And number 97, Tyler Hall.
Who are you taking?
For the Newfoundland Marshals,
CBHA.
Bingo, Dylan Bird. Number 2, Riley Kraft. Number 5,
Really
Johnny.
crappy view because you can't see any of the corner.
Number 15, Tyler Johnson. Number 16, Mark Murphy. Number 22,
You know what?
You know what's also been? He's for the coaches too. It's very hard to see. Very hard to coach or something like that. So,
Yeah. No, I come from Georgetown, and which is about a half hour from here.
Yeah,
Well, you know what? They're tearing down our old one to build 2 new ones. And you know what? It's going to be just like this. like the new ones, and they're all excited for it. Where are you from?
Aurora.
Aurora?
But played my hockey all over, a lot of tournaments, playing the Georgetown tournament.
Oh yeah,
I love that
and
old rink.
oh.
I mean, it's an old rink.
It's an old rink, but you know what? There's memories, there's
Oh.
tradition. You know what? And
Well, the building was structurally unsound, was it not? Or is that?
that's just a story they want to spend. You couldn't tell me you couldn't spend some money and fix it up.
Well, geez,
But you know what?
Arena got it.
Well-
They put extra studs back in that. They kept it for years. So.
But you know what? It's the second oldest building in like rink in Canada.
Really?
Yeah. It's like 96 or 95 years old.
But I love those old women.
Oh, you know what? They want to sell seats to raise money. You can buy $500 a seat for this new seat. You get your plaque on it like this.
Yeah.
You know what? If that was going to cost me $500, I'd rather buy the seat that my mom sat in to watch me play. You know?
Actually, they're selling the old seats on. Oh, wait a minute.
Well, no, you know what? Pardon me? No, they're chairs. They're chairs, yeah. Well, they didn't think about it until some people started going in and some chairs started disappearing, right? So, yeah, so do you, no, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
You know when it goes in the corner, I've been kind of like going up a little bit in the front leg so I can see down in the corner a
Oh,
little
look
bit.
at you. Could be the best film.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How's everything going up front?
Oh, well, just getting in on the scores for U17.
Yeah. Les text you? Because I called him and gave him the score. So you just want to take a picture of the scoreboard.
Yeah, that's what I'm getting now.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, leave it alone.
All right. So do you, do you play in the tournament at Christmas time at Centennial Park, the Centennial Arena?
Yeah, the new one.
Yeah, in Toronto, by the airport.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, Eddie Lewicki play on that team that you're playing on?
Shit. I played with Danny.
Or Danny, yeah, Danny. Eddie was his dad, right?
Eddie was dead.
Yeah.
I played with Danny in a league, in the senior league way back when.
Yeah.
Boy, he was nuts.
Telling me. Oh, there's a couple of guys there that are still, you know, like they don't, guys, you not realize it? Christmas, Happy New Year.
Yeah.
I ref, right? So that's all I know.
You never refereed. I wouldn't mind getting a referee.
You know what?
But I keep playing.
You know what? It's when you hang them up,
Well,
still gives you something to. Oh yeah.
I did play hockey again.
Yeah. No, it's funny because you know who I ran into a couple of weeks ago He plays in that tournament. You know the guy who's the Elvis impersonator? Have you seen him? There's a guy who plays in that tournament. He's an Elvis impersonator.
Well, there was something there, and I don't know. Yeah. It may be when you're entering the zone, you gotta do it with your control.
But you know the guy who I go into arena, and it just makes my lips curl like anger. Is that Stevie Love? You know him?
I don't know him. No. How old is he?
He's got to be 54 or maybe 53. Yeah. He plays all over. He's not a bad player, but his the shelf time on teams are only about 2 years till they get tired.
They just kick him off?
Yeah, kick him off.
Yeah, I'm still playing the over 50 or over 55. Yeah. Playing league up in Newmarket. I was 60 this year, and the average age on this team we played was about 37. That's a little much for me.
You know what? No, I enjoy the old timer stuff.
Actually, I played against Georgetown at the National Golf Tournament last year.
Oh yeah?
Oh, I know. I do. I have to. It's funny, we're here. My wife's nephew played for the goals for Alberta.
Oh yeah?
We thought it was an ice hockey game. Like I'm dressed for a cold rain.
Yeah.
So I guess not.
Well, I was told Alberta's got a strong team, so get some net there at the net. Sure.
Big guy still. Low. Guy gets the
Last weekend they had Canadian Eastern Championships they call them. So anywhere from east of Ontario down to the Rock, for men's were playing. And there was a guy that was there. He was scouting for Team Canada, Terry Ryan, who was drafted by Montreal about 17 years ago. He went 10th overall. And really a great, decent guy, down to earth. Not one of these guys that lets on that he played in the show or anything like that. You know, he wouldn't. And he's written a book that's coming out. And I'll tell you, I can hardly wait. I think it's going to be a real interesting read because all the politics that went on in the sport when he was with Montreal. Because he was drafted by Serge Savard and Jacques Demers. Yeah, and then it was right at the end there when they canned Savard and they brought in Réjean Houle. And the stories that went on and the mind games that were played on the players by the coaching staff. Yeah.
That's when they were trying to sort of reignite the French side of it.
Yeah, exactly. And he was saying that you know, he was there. He was drafted 10th overall, and at the end of the year, when he played in Fredericton, he had 21 goals. He was a middleweight. He fought 34 fights, and he won Rookie of the Year. So he goes into. At the end of the year, he gets called into Réjean Houle's office. You know, he's had a good year. He's expecting, he's pumped, meeting Réjean Houle, wants to talk about next year, about making the Montreal team. And Rajon Houle goes, "Hello, Andre." And he just looks at him and he says, I'll leave out the words, but he says, "You don't even know who I am." He looked at him and he goes, "I'm Terry Ryan. I was your first round draft choice 3 years ago. I came in here expecting to talk about me, how I was going to be able to make the team next year." He says, "You don't even know who I am." And basically Rajon Houle told him, he said, "Well, you know what? If it was me, I wouldn't have drafted you." And so at that time, Montreal had traded Darcy Tucker to Montreal, or to Tampa Bay, and he went on to score 20 goals and put up a decent numbers in Tampa Bay. And Craig Conroy was traded to Calgary, or St. Louis, and he had a decent career. And there was about two.
In Montreal.
That was Rajon Houle.
Oh, that was Rajon.
So from Serge Savard. So then there was about. He mentioned two other guys that were English guys that got traded off and did well at other places. Well, now all of a sudden, we're not going to trade you. Well, why won't you? Are you going to play me? He says, "No, we're not going to play you. We'll pay you $150,000 a year to go down and play in Fredericton." So, well, why won't you trade? You know, and basically they wouldn't trade him because they looked bad on the trades that they gave away the players that blossomed in other organizations. So they wouldn't get rid of him. And then there was a kid that was drafted by the Leafs, Mark Dael. He was like about a 4th or 5th round pick, and he was a thin guy, only about 170 pounds, but he was like 6'1", and he led the WHL in scoring, but just didn't have meat, right? So he was playing down in St. John's, and Terry Ryan had played out in the Western Hockey League, and they knew each other from the Western Hockey League. And I guess Terry Ryan, you know, this guy, some reason, called him to say, "Are you coming back to play in the Western League next winter? Because you know, you're good for the league, you're a good player, you're a good draw," and blah, blah, blah. And Ryan kind of thought it was a little odd that he did, but he thought he still appreciated it. But offside. Tape recording. Terry Ryan called him up and said, you know, I said, he called him up and the guy had a conversation with him. So anyways, in the playoffs, Fredericton's playing the Baby Leafs, right? So it's Montreal versus Toronto on the Rock. Game 4, they're at a face-off, and the linesman kicks out the center and both wingers out of the draw. So they bring in a defenseman to take the draw. He's a Finnish guy, and he happened to be Terry Ryan's roommate. And Terry Ryan's on the ice, and you know how Peter Cesel would like lift a stick and kick the puck out with a skate? Yeah. So that's what this kid attempted to do, but he missed Dael's stick and came up, and he took his eye out. Right on the there, and Terry Ryan said he saw his eyeball drop to the ice, and he said you know, they said it was just awful, you know, similar to what Berard was kind of like, and the whole, you know, anyways, the game ends. Whoever won tied up the series. Now they got Game 5 in St. John's. His roommate's up all night, emotionally. So Ryan says, "You know what? I know Mark Brown. In the morning, we go to the hospital and see him." So they go in to see him and talk to him, and as they're coming out, there's some baby Leafs coming into the arena to see him, and there's what's his name, Michel Therrien, who's now the coach of the Habs, right? And he said, "Terry, what are you doing here?" He says, "Well, you know, Mike," he called him. He said, "Mike, you know, I kind of know the guy from the Western League, and my roommate felt really bad, and I know the guy, and just wanted to come and say we're sorry and, you know, and support him." Okay. So anyways, he leaves. And he leaves, and I guess the next night they're at the rink for game 5, and he goes in the dressing room, and his sweater's not up hung, right? So he's thinking, am I a healthy scratch? And Michelle Therrien says, boys, I'm afraid to tell you, we have a traitor in the room. A traitor.
Terry?
So, and Terry Ryan says, I'm looking around thinking, who's he talking about? What's going on? And he says, then I realize what they're saying. He's saying. So he says, so I stand up and I said, and he said his piece in front of the team, right? And he goes, that's right, you're not playing. And whoever the captain was of the team stood up and said, you know what? If Terry's not playing, I'm not playing. And then another guy stood up and said, yeah, if he's not playing, I'm not playing. And then Jose Theodore stood up and said the same thing. So then there's about 7 guys who are telling Terry, and they're not going to play if Terry doesn't play. So now all of a sudden, they have to play him. And now by doing that, now he's basically blackballed, right? But he's telling a story about they have an exhibition game in Montreal against the Leafs. And Ryan tells his buddies, who all drive up from Rock, I'm going to fight Domi tonight. Right? So they're in the warm-up, and they're skating by, and Ryan says that, Domi, you're not going to go tonight. And Domi looks at him like, why am I going to go to you? I don't have to go to you. Right? He goes, I'm going to go to you because I told all my friends who are sitting up in those stands tonight to watch me that I'm going to fight. So anyways, Domi looks at him, and I guess sometime in the course of the game, Domi said, okay, we'll do it. So anyways, Terry Ryan, they dropped their gloves, they're going at it. Terry Ryan, he's like he said, he was a middleweight. He says, I'm pounding him with my right, I'm giving him my left, and he says, my hands are killing me. It's like his head's like concrete, right? So he says, we battled to a draw and I get out of it okay. So so the next night they're playing in Maple Leaf Gardens, and he's dressed. And the Habs are taking it to the Leafs 5-1 in the third, right? And Domi says to Ryan, we gotta go. Ryan says to him, I don't want to go. He says, you gotta go. I'm home. Oh, okay, alright. So, anyways, so they scrap. And Ryan says, if you watch my fight on YouTube with him, you'll actually see, because I actually reach over when we're tied up and grab my own sweater and pull it over my head. Take his picture. Yeah. He said, I didn't want to fight Domi.
Like you say, I mean, the stuff that goes on, eh?
So anyway, so they talk about that night, after the game, they go out to the bar. He's out in the bar with his buddies that came up from Montreal to watch him play against Toronto. And they're sitting in there, and Domi happens to come into the bar. Kind of like sees them, they make eye contact, but they don't say anything to each other. And Ty Domi leaves, and the waitress walks over to Terry Ryan and his buddies and says, don't worry, your night's been covered by Mr. Domi. So he said, we stood there for like another couple hours and drank and on Domi's bill. Yeah.
I played hockey actually with a guy named Jerry Methane. Jerry Methane. Jerry actually played for St. Louis.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
Terry what is it? McCaffrey?
No, Jerry Methane. And he was actually Hartford when the house was.
Yeah.
And his son actually worked at Magna when Domi was up there having his flirt with Belinda Swan.
Yeah.
Apparently he was not
On the
So I guess it depends on who he was dealing with.
Yeah. No, I've heard that about Domi. And you know what? Some of those things like that could come back to haunt his kid too. Right?
Yeah, I know. But his
mean,
kid seems to be a hell of a different player. Like,
well, he's more of a player,
yeah.
not just a fighter. But, you know, when his kid was drafted, by Kingston, and Doug Gilmore's the general manager and head coach, and Domi says, my kid's not coming to your team. Like, I'm sure that must have, that would have gone over well with Gilmore. Talking about Gordie Howe, in that old rink in Georgetown, they used to have the Bantam tournament every March break. There's a guy that came from Georgetown, his name was Paul Popeil. Yeah.
Larry Popeil?
There was four. There was Jan that played in the WHA with Chicago. Paul played with Detroit and Vancouver, and then went and played for the Houston Aeros. And there was two twins, Dick and Dean. And Detroit's in Toronto. And Mark and Marty are playing at Georgetown in Vancouver. So he comes up to watch the game. Now, on the road, Gordie was Paul Popeil's roommate as a rookie. Yeah. So the Popeils here at Gordie Howe's town, being the family that they were, Gordie had to come up to their house. You know? So Gordie goes over to have dinner at Popeil's. Dick and Dean, who are friends with a buddy of mine, they call him up and say, Blake, you got to get over here right now. Why? What's going on? We're playing ball hockey in a driveway with Gordie Howe. So, but I tell you, it shows you just how much the game's changed whenever you watch any of those old Leaf TV games.
Yeah. Oh. Actually, even watch when Edmonton was in the front, the way it's changed.
Well, 25 years ago, I was playing, and I kind of thought, you know what? I can do a better job than that referee out there and what he's doing. You know? And I said to one ref, you know, I said, you do this a lot? And he goes, yeah, I do a fair bit. So I kind of inquired how I could get in, and one thing kind of led to another. And I was fortunate enough to either get trained by the right people, who introduced me to the right people. Yeah. I grew up, it was hockey in the winter, baseball in the summer. You know, they didn't have these leagues when I was a kid. Or else I would have played. Me, 49. Yeah. Sweats.
Well, they got onto the bench, see that?
They got a spare goal this time.
Did you ever happen to play in that Erin tournament?
The what?
Erin?
No.
No?
No, I'm 60 now.
Yeah.
I haven't played a lot of time. I played a lot down in Lake Placid.
Yeah.
To do those. Damn Yankees a little bit.
Yeah.
But not a great deal of travel. I always had trouble against the Georgetown teams. They've been good.
Yeah. What do you call them now?
Said you had it.
Saying the net was off. Net was off.
Yeah.
Net was off.
Oh, that off? You know, there's one rule I don't like. You know, like, I mean, it depends on who knocks the net off. But, boy, you talk about the, I mean, it kills the play.
You know what? If it's a wraparound on the short side, the net comes off. You know, you got to wave it. No, you got you got to wave it off. The net came off. But if he beats that goalie 5-hole and that net's off 4 inches,
Yeah.
I'm calling it a goal.
Yeah.
But it's funny, you know, you watch these guys They try to make it look so nonchalant, like, oh, I just happened to do this. Oh! He's got it, he's got it. Ahoy. As a referee, that's the one that keeps me up. Big time. He's got the, you know, he's the captain of the team. You gotta beat those. Right? National championships. So you ref in the Georgetown area? Or yeah, Georgetown area, GTA. Yeah, I've always played. I coached for 4 years, which was great. I'm glad I did. I coached boys up to Montana, the OHS, and then I tried getting behind the bench a little. Not that I tried, stuck before. Right?
For your kids?
I run a kids program in Georgetown as well. These two programs that are fun. So like the whole weekend. Sometimes you gotta jump in and work in half a day. Every week you gotta look after. And so that's how I got the Why don't you see it?
Well, I coached double A, and that's exactly right. In fact, I coached, pardon me, I didn't coach high school. When I was coaching, I remember sort of had some basketball family.
Yeah, Billy coaching. Yeah. Billy's out. Yeah, Billy. He played in Georgetown.
Yeah.
The Gemini.
With, you know what, with Andy, like you did Andy played, of course he did.
Well, Andy used to come to all the games.
Well, no, Andy Jr.
Oh, Andy Jr., yes. Yeah, and then he went to Belleville.
Right? Yeah, and then the post. But I remember he was saying that, you look at that play, half the teams are decent AAA teams, and the other half would probably be double A or at best. It's amazing the way they united it. But to your point, you want some of the great inside and that's one reason why I quit. I'm doing these two guys who was all about to come from a goal. And I just said, no, frustration. And I hate double chase. Hate it.
You know, all they have to do to make the game better is make his equipment smaller.
Remember they had a great when Patrick Roy retired.
Yeah.
And they showed multiple pictures, like when he started with Montreal, right? Jesus Christ. He grew. Yeah. He doubled in size.
Yeah. He didn't do the Barry Bonds thing, he did it with equipment. Yeah. Exactly. But you know what? The thing is, you can teach a hockey player defense. You can't teach him how to score.
God created
But you know what? It would be interesting to watch Gretzky in today's game.
Well, as long as he had a Dave Shemenko around him, he'd be okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. But
because they're
no,
really good guys. Like,
yeah.
well, look what happened to Crosby. I mean, he's probably damaged goods forever.
You know what? Well, Crosby played a lot better when George LaRocque was still in Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Yeah, true.
You know? But no, the speed of today's game, like Gretzky wasn't fast.
No.
You know, he used to hit all that time behind the net. Set up his play, right? You don't have that time in today's game.
You either make the rinks bigger,
Yep.
or you know what? I still think it'll make the game faster. You're not allowed to dress 4 lines. Dress 3 lines.
Well, that would never happen because
Think of the number of players. How you play a game like that. If you got a 45-second shift, you can pretty well do anything.
well, Players Association don't do that.
Couldn't go. That will never happen.
You know? I don't know.
You're not going to outrun him.
interference. Well, you know what? At this age, you got it on tight.
Oh, I know. You really could something like this. These guys are going to be doing hockey. I'm sure you'll want this is great cardiovascular. Right? You don't want to get
You know,
it makes sense.
the difference between this and ice hockey, you get in and you try to break up, if you're breaking up an altercation, sometimes you go like that and you know it's nothing but muscle.
Yeah. Gotta beat the crap out of each other first. Here's another play which is totally defensive. The guy turns his back on it.
Yeah.
Can't do anything.
What? One thing that I see all the time that drives me absolutely nuts. Doing high school hockey or, you know, kids hockey. Pardon me? Well, you know what? A lot of, like, you get some of these prep schools, you know, these parents are paying big bucks for the kids to be educated. And you know, like, I'm thinking of the school that's up in your neck of the woods. St. Andrews, right? I mean, you get a lot of kids that are playing that, you know, are AAA players or AA players, and all of a sudden they just got sick and tired of it. You know, because they start, you know, it becomes a job for them when they're 8 years old. And you know all the politics of, oh, there you go. You know all the politics that's involved in minor hockey. You know, kids going to the rink 6 days a week.
Boy, I'll tell you, the river was a fallacy. Where you had the idea that if a kid's on the ice 8 days a week, he's going to be a better player. Like you said, if he hasn't got hands, he's not going to have that. It's hard to teach.
You know. I mean, when I was growing up, it was called crossovers. Now the term's called cutting and edging. You know?
Yeah, everything's in a book now. You redefine everything. just one with virtually really flat.
You know what?
X shoes.
It's tough, right? Because you can't have a cross-trained shoe like that because of the heel. You'll roll your ankle.
Right.
But you kind of like probably a court shoe, but it's tough because you're running on concrete, right?
Yeah, so you've like almost like a tennis shoe.
Yeah. But you gotta have. They use hairspray on their soles of their shoes.
Really?
Glove pass.
Gain the zone, and then I think it's sending over the red.
That's correct. Body contact.
What is that? Body contact? Either that or this guy's got rotator cuff. That's what it is. At 19 years old.
I'm doing this old timers game one time. The player gets his hockey stick wedged between the guy's helmet and his head. Right? He sticks the blade with it. Yeah. So I blow the plate dead. Whoa. Hang on, let me go your stick. Take off your strap. I get the guy's helmet off, I get the stick out. I said, okay buddy, let's go. What? Let's go. What for? He said, kind of like a high stick. You gotta be kidding. I said, OJ's Dream Team can't get you out of this one.
Explain that.
How do you get the stick caught between the guy's head and his helmet?
And question the call. That's a great idea, but just with the CBHA almost, right?
It's got to be a little it's got to be a little closer to the player, a little softer for this one timer.
Great idea.
You know,
Is there a time where you have to shoot?
pardon me?
Is there a time where you have to shoot? It doesn't matter.
Only thing is you always have to be moving the ball forward. Right. You know, you can't. Like who was it in the NHL a few years ago? Who bring the puck out of their end?
No, last year.
I don't know.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
That was the most incredible thing I've ever seen. How the hell would you ever think of doing that? I never would have thought that in my life.
There you go. I'm sure Roger Nielsen probably did though.
Oh. I always thought that rule that Roger Nielsen had, where he put a guy in net for a penalty shot, made the guy come out and check him.
Ron Stackhouse. Peter Bopeet. We did it, yeah.
I mean that's intelligent play. I like that. No wonder they stopped.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you, they gotta stop that spin around and bullshit and penalty shot. That stuff's just
That's disgusting. But you know what? Well, the one thing about the game that I don't like right now is, you know, when they score the goal, when you think, or they do these dances.
hate it. It's turned into a football game. Absolutely.
Yeah. The first goal you've ever scored? You ever scored before?
All you need to score a goal and win the game. You just win the period. Boy, they should stop. His defense for leaving him alone a little, right? Like he's making a shot. We were just wondering how many of these guys play high school. I guarantee the smaller ones don't play anything I've ever seen.
I know the Ontario team has a couple of guys that play in the O.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, I know.
But they The under 19 should be an under 17 team.
Really?
Flash. This is my third period.
Third period?
Yeah, third period of doing game and a half.
Okay, game and a half. This is all she gave you, right?
That's all she gave me.
Okay.
That's all it is. open there?
Yeah.
Was there? Somebody on the far side?
Yeah. Holding the goalie. Don't take a shot at the back. That's chicken. You don't do that.
You can catch it on the website. It'll be on YouTube.
Was there at any point did a player try to help another player up?
No.
No? Okay, well I saw that. Well I saw that. You never know. It's over.
Chatting with you.
Nice seeing you, Donnie Castleman.
Donnie? Dave Hall.
Dave Hall?
Yeah.
I'll look for you in the,
See you in the arena.
I'll see you in the arena at Christmas.
When's the new one ready?
I'll be ready in the fall.
In the fall?
Yeah. Have yourself a good night.
Now they have a ceremony